Packing for your Royal Caribbean cruise? Hold up. Some items could get your bag flagged, confiscated, or even worse. Let's count down the banned items you need to know before you board. Welcome back, cruisers. My name is Adam. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button as we make tip videos, news videos, vlogs, and all the such for cruise related content. But today's video is about the items that are prohibited on a Royal Caribbean cruise, as I have had a couple of friends who are going on this cruise ask about it, as far as what can they bring, what can't they bring. Now, majority of this list that we're going to be looking at is pretty reasonable. Like, you should expect to not be able to bring like flare guns, pellet guns, spear guns, you know, all the crazy stuff that you would typically never bring on a cruise. But this list that we're looking at pretty much is going over some of more of the other items that you may think that you might want to bring that you aren't allowed to bring. So that's what we're going to talk about today. With that being said, look at the list on the screen. You can see the majority of the stuff is a little wild. You wouldn't think anybody would ever bring. But as far as when you get down here to the flammable items, all items with open flames or heating elements are strictly prohibited. The exception to this is hair curling irons, straightening irons, or flat irons, and hair dryers, which are permitted on board. Flammable items include, but are not limited to, the following, and then you can read this list. But they do also offer laundry services on board, so you'll always be able to get your clothes cleaned or ironed or anything like that. So beware that you will not be able to bring your clothing ironed. I don't know if anybody really ever thinks about bringing that, but don't bring it. I feel like, as far as the flammable items, the only other items that I could potentially think that people might want to bring that you are not allowed to bring would be teacup immersion heaters, potentially. I know nobody would bring a coffee maker. Hoverboards, I don't think anybody would ever think to bring one of those, but don't do it in case you've ever thought about it. Oil diffusers, don't bring those. If you want to try to make your room smell better or whatever, just don't bring it, because it will be taken away from you. Electric blankets, I don't think anybody would unless you're on an Alaskan cruise. I don't feel like down in the Caribbean or anywhere else that that would be needed or necessary, but you're not allowed to bring it because of the risk of fire, of course. And I think the next biggest objects would probably be the knives and sharp objects. Sharp objects including all knives or scissors are prohibited, of course. Anything that can be used as a flick knife, automatic knife, push button knife, ejector, or switchblade, or anything longer than 4 inches is going to be banned, including scissors. Sharp objects include, but are not limited to, the following. You know, box cutters, ice picks. Why would you think to even bring those? The biggest thing on that one would be the scissors with the blade length over 4 inches. Personal grooming items such as metal nail files, cuticle tools, and scissors for trimming facial hair with a blade length less than 4 inches, manicure sets, and other similar small personal grooming implements are permitted. So you can bring like your electric razor and stuff like that. Sporting goods and equipment are permitted on board. However, you must keep that equipment in your stateroom when it is not being used. Displayed or carried in the public areas at all, except to take them on and off the ship, from gangway to stateroom, stateroom to gangway. Violations of this policy will result in confiscation of the item, may be considered to be a guest conduct policy violation. Sporting goods include, but are not limited to, the following: baseball and cricket bats, hockey sticks, skateboards, surfboards, golf clubs, bicycles, roller skates, etc., etc. Do not try to bring your chemicals or other dangerous items on board. I know some of these people who are on the cleaner side of things might be trying to bring like your bleach or your cleaning items. Just don't worry about it. They have people on board to clean your rooms and do all that, so don't think about bringing any of that stuff. Anybody still owns a Galaxy Note 7, don't even think about it. It's completely banned. They won't allow it on the ship, and they will make you get rid of it or hold on to it until you return back to stateside or wherever you started your cruise. The biggest thing which I get questions on is the electrical extension cords. Like, what can I bring? Because I know a lot of these staterooms don't have a whole lot of plugs, USB ports, USB-C ports. I know some of the newer ships, there's plenty of them now, but people still ask, what can I bring? Can I bring a surge protector? Can I bring, anything like that? Power strips, surge protectors are not permitted. The one thing that they will allow is if you have a consumer type power conversion device, like a USB charger that will plug into the wall, and then it has like 4 USB-A ports, some USB-C ports, stuff like that. They are allowed to be on board. The devices must be stamped with the US/Europe recognized conformance marking to demonstrate compliance with the electrical safety standards. The biggest thing with the extension cords, power strips, stuff like that, it's a fire hazard. The next area would be the radios or transmitting devices. They are strictly prohibited due to potential interference with the ship's onboard communication systems. This does not include baby monitors, which are permitted. Guests are allowed to also have two-way radios, so if you guys bring those along to communicate with your children so you don't lose each other, or if you allow your kids to walk off from yourselves and still want to be in contact with them, tell them when it's time to go to dinner or come back to the room or whatever, you can bring those on there for personal communications. The basic specifications are as follows: up to a 10-mile coverage range, up to 5 watts of power, internal voice operated transmission, no external mounting antennas. So pretty much walkie-talkies are what you can bring. Next one, a lot of people get asked about is alcohol or other drinks. I know you can bring soda on. You can bring like a 12-pack of soda. I believe you can bring some water, but alcohol related, you are not allowed to bring them. Guests and crew are not allowed to bring beer, hard liquor, fortified wines, or alcoholic beverages on board for consumption or any other use on boarding day or while at ports. There are some exceptions. You can read their onboard alcohol guest policy that will explain what you can and cannot bring, but I believe it is just like a bottle of wine that they allow you to bring on boarding day. But most of the other stuff, if you like end up at a port and you're buying like a bottle of tequila or anything like that, they will hold it for you until the end of the cruise, and then they will give it back to you. And finally, the biggest thing that I've seen are about the baby bottle warmers, sanitizers, or cleaners, however you want to talk about them. Requests for those are handled by their access team and reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Typically they're not allowed, but if you want to submit a request, you can email the special_needs@rccl.com to see if you have a special case to allow and permit these to be on board. With that being said, that is the list of items that are prohibited on board a Royal Caribbean ship. Not all ships or brands will be the same. So if you're going on a Disney cruise, any other kind of cruise line, be sure to check the website, make sure that the items that you think are in question, if they allow them or if they don't allow them. But with that being said, this is the list for Royal Caribbean. Now you know what to bring and what you can't bring. And with that being said, I am off. I will see you guys later. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below if I missed anything or if I should include anything as far as what items you can bring on a Royal Caribbean cruise. And until next time, I'll see you later.